Hey gamers, Jacko here. I just wanted to quickly go over the Season 4 trailer where they show off all of the new moves that all the characters get. I did this on stream, like when it happened live. However, my thoughts were a little bit jumbled, to say the least. So I thought it would be better now that I've had a couple of nights to sleep on it and really think about it, to go through and sort of comment on what I think all of the changes are like, how good they are, how fun they're gonna be, and my general thoughts on the whole, as a whole. Let's get to it, shall we? So, to begin with, we have Kai's new DP confirm thing. I'm very small right now. From the looks of it, it spends shock on HDP now, or some shit like that, because he does this puts him in shock state, and now that he's in shock state, he flies up. And you can see here, he's lost the shock state. So now HDP spends shock, and it sends you a little bit higher for more combos. Probably the most boring change in the entire video. It's okay. It gives Kai a couple new combo routes. Gives him a reason to do HDP and combos. I do not care. I don't give a fuck. That's my feeling on this one. Starting off strong, I do not care. Will it make him more interesting to fight against? No. Will it make him more annoying to fight against? Yes. Will it be fun? For the Kai, probably. That's about it. And then we go on to Sol, who's, yeah. You may have heard me talk about this before. A little bit. Just a little bit. I've said things like, this is the balance patch where they asked the interns what they think was cool and they add it in the game. Or they just said, fuck it. This is the most fuck it change I have ever seen. When talking about Sol Badguy, changing him is kind of hard because he's just fundamentally a good character. He just is good in basically every iteration of the game. And now they decided that they're going to buff him because they're buffing everyone. And how they buffed him is probably the weirdest way that I've ever seen. They gave him more combo routes. They gave Sol Badguy more combo routes. Character that's already killing you off of like 2 combos is getting more. So, okay, sure. I will say, being able to combo into heavy mod cemetery and now it costing 100 meter is an interesting change. I wonder if that means that they up the damage on it so that it is more like Slayer's Last Horizon, like a big desperation move. But still, it's a bit of a kind of change. Don't think it'll make it more fun to fight against. I think it's just gonna be okay. Gonna make him a bit more annoying, if anything. He has more ways to convert into big damage. Thanks, Access. Mei's changes are some of the smaller ones, but they're still a little bit annoying. If you see at the start of the clip, Mei's counter hit 5H sends you fucking flying. You go so far now. And with the jump D basically sending you to the corner, she essentially is just getting more ways to gain shit off of her pressure. Counter hit 5H already killed you, but now it just kills you more. I imagine it's gonna be more fun for Mei. Fighting Mei, I doubt it's gonna change too much. 5H has already been a move where you don't want to mash against it. So it's probably just gonna continue to be like that. It's more, oh no, Mei is counter hit 5H me, and now I've died. Same shit as the previous season, but for the Mei players. It's gonna be a bit more different. This is, I'm gonna spoil the rest of this video. That is the best new feature in the whole update. Rope is sick. I love Rope. I have never touched Chip in my life. I have never wanted to play Chip. Never gonna want to play Chip. It's not my kind of character. Not a big fan of dying the moment I get hit. So I'm not gonna play him. But Rope is objectively cool because it does the thing that all the best new moves do, and it redefines how the character can function. I think that the best move that they ever added to this game, obviously I'm a little bit biased, is Shove, Giovanna's enhanced specials, because it completely changed the way that you think about playing the character and the way they go about it, and all of her moves completely changed for it. Rope is doing what Shove did to Giovanna, where it is making Chip get new, interesting, and crazy options in both offense and neutral. Look at this shit. He sends you up, Alpha Blades onto it, does 5k, 6h, drops down, far slash, 2h, Alpha Blades up, and gets a mix-up on landing. That is sick. That is so cool. It is fucking awesome. It doesn't show how the opponent can interact with the rope. Can we destroy it? Can we bounce on it? Do we use it as another platform? What can we do with rope? We don't know. But for Chip, this is fucking awesome. I love it. I think the rope is going to be sick. I'm looking forward to it. So Axel is now able to cancel his 6k into things. Apart from that, it seems like he's staying pretty similar. I think that's a nice change for him. Being able to anti and immediately go into Sickle Storm is cool. It's awesome. Hell yeah. Good for you. This is such a good change. Being able to bat items is quite fun. I think it's cool. Faust has always been quite an annoying character to deal with. This is just going to add even more onto that. But it's a fun change. Now when an item is directly in front of Faust, there's a little bit more of a mind game going on. You can already bat some items with Tab 5D, but it looks like you're going to be able to do it a lot easier with this. I don't know if it's a cancel from 2H. It kind of looks like it's a new special move. But still, it is going to redefine the way that the character goes around using items. And it's going to change the matchups for some characters quite a bit. Having a mini Faust just batted at you is not good for literally any character. I think it's a cool change. I think it's sick. Leo got one of the smallest changes, just having pushback on back turn massively extended, which is really good for him. If you don't know, that back turn move has always been quite bad to use in a lot of situations. Unless you do specific setups, you basically don't use it. Because on block, it's just hella punishable. Now, Leo's able to actually get his turn and just play the game. Which, hell yeah. Leo's able to get him back turn stance easier. Good for him. Good change. Nice change. If you IB it, he still dies. Elfel. Elfel's one of these weird characters where she kind of feels like she's been lacking an interesting game plan. I don't think that giving grenades the property of sticking and sending you through the wall and keeping it afterwards is necessarily gonna change that, but it is a fun upgrade. It is a good reason to use this super now, which has seen basically no play at most levels of the game. Good for Elfel. Nice change. I kind of wish she got a little bit more. Hopefully the buffs that she might be getting are going to be enough to make her more interesting, but we'll see. I am biased against Asuka, but this change is both annoying and good. So now, when he goes into this super, he actually drains mana, which is the good bit. Most annoying thing about this super is that Asuka would just use it, his mana would stall, and he's able to get a god tier hand, and there's no consequences for it. The other side is now he's able to switch test cases. So while he is losing mana, he's able to guarantee that he gets a god hand by switching into different cases and spamming the buttons. If you think, oh, Asuka can't spam that bad, look at Xando's gameplay. Just look at it. These motherfuckers are able to just mill their decks really fast. And the best Asuka players are going to be able to make sure that they get an absolutely diabolical hand the moment that they want. We're going to see some absolutely disgusting shit from this character now. But thankfully, it does mean that they can't just do it, get a mana card, and then have no consequences whatsoever. If they do this with low mana, the likelihood is they're going to lose the shield, which is really good in my book. Thank fuck. Okay, so, as you may know, I am a bit of a Zato hater. I've never liked fighting this character. Not once. Not when he's been good, not when he's been bad. I've never enjoyed fighting him. One of the best nerfs, in my opinion, to this character was the fact that when you did command grab, you didn't get Eddie back. You were just forced into a neutral situation without your game-winning tool. They have since reverted that change, as you can see here. No matter what happens, you're gonna get Eddie back, which is really annoying. Yeah. Also, some people think that some of his moves may force stand. I personally think that this Milia is throwing for content. We look here. She stands the frog, and also, if we get the perfect frame, she blocks 2k, and then she blocks and she stands the 2D for no reason. The Milia player just decided that they were going to stand block the moment the oppose happens and they get hit by 2D. This would mean that this is now an unblockable setup because he just times 2D so that it hits you the frame after you're forced to stand block. This ain't that kind of game. This ain't that kind of game. There's no way they would do this. If this is in the game, Zato is now top one. I will have and I would never have anyone argue that against me. He is absolutely broken. You have a frame to go from force standing to crouching. That's literally not happening. You're going to get opened up extremely easy. But the likelihood is that's not the case. This is a buff that I didn't want to see. Happy Chaos. So, this is the change I actually mentioned earlier. What Happy Chaos now does is when he hits you with, I believe this is a jump D. I've not played a lot of Happy Chaos. You now bounce. You bounce like fucking crazy. Oing! Look at that bounce. This is a bit of a weird change because it's going to change some of Chaos's routing off of jump D. I think it's a funny change. It's a Goomba Stomp and it makes you bounce. There's a lot of smaller changes like these. I don't think the smaller changes are as impressive. When you see them first in the trailer, they're quite crazy. But looking at this now, Testament. This is a big one. Stain now pops on throw. What a good change. What a fucking banger change. Yes. Yes. Good. Testament's always kind of had this awkward situation where you'd be stained against them and they'd throw you and the stain is still there. And it's kind of awkward. Having it pop off a throw now means that they're actually going to get combos off a throw with stain. It rewards them more for putting stain on the opponent. It gives the Testament more cool things to do. Gives them more damage. Going to give them more combo opportunities. It's sick. What a good change. It also makes fighting Testament that has stain on you now that much more scary. Because you can't just sit there and block and pray. Because now when stain pops, you're fucked. Good. I like it. I like this change a lot. I think that's a very good change. So, Baikon. Baikon is a character that I believe is desperately in need for buffs. Absolutely. And we are definitely getting something, as you can see here. There is what I like to call a shit parry. And the moment the shit parry happens, Baikon dash cancels. Which is a good change. Means that she's now in your face. She's able to get pressure. Doesn't get a combo from it, because fuck me, I guess. But she's able to get pressure off of a shit parry. That's pretty good. Couple of questions, though. As you can see, there is a weird thing when Baikon parries. There's a strange symbol right in front of her. Is this? I have no fucking idea what this means, and neither does anyone. There's also a couple other questions I have. Because we can't parry RC, and I imagine that's not coming back, can we get hard knockdown off of main parry, or are we only just going to get more basic pressure? Also, what the fuck is this? What am I looking at? What does this actually do? Is this a special type of parry? Is this something that only shows up sometimes, like in the shit parry sections? What is this? What does it do? I'm very worried about it. The ominous circle is concerning a little bit. Apart from that, it seems like she doesn't really have a lot, which I'm kind of upset about. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief. I'm not getting the massive buff that I was hoping. This looks like it pulls you in way faster, which is nice. But, yeah, I hope that parry has a lot more interesting implications, because despite what some people are saying, this is not a true strength. This is not Baikon parrying during block stun. You can parry this strength. This is very much a parryable strength. Fast Slash into 5H has always been a parryable strength. It's always given you this parry type situation. So you can't parry in block stun, which a lot of people were hoping was the case. So, it is what it is. Ramlethal! What a change. What a change. I like this. So, I thought originally this was a new move. I've kind of gone back and forth on it. What I think it is now is Ram is able to angle her swords. So she's able to angle it down forward, or up. And I think that's a really good change. Because, like, the evidence speaks for itself. She's able to now get wall, slump, crush pressure in mid-screen. What a fucking change. It gives guard crush, and it's going to be very annoying to fight against. But it also doesn't give her sword immediately. So it's a new balancing act that you have to do, where you send the sword, and it gives you less corner carry, and potentially less combo potential, for more pressure. Really cool. It's really, really cool. I really like this change. I think this changes exactly what Ram needs. I think it's sick. There is no argument to be made that she's gotten 2 new moves, when there's still some characters that don't have a single new move. But we'll ignore that for now. Giovanna. It seems like there's not a lot, but there's the potential that there is a lot of changes in this. DP gives you a better knockdown and better potential. Enhanced 214K also gives hard knockdown now, which is big. Because hard knockdown's been missing from Gio's kit. Not for a long time, but it's cool that it is back. That might be false. I might be chatting out my ass. It also goes way further now. I tried this string in the current game. This does not work at all. This move just goes further now. There's also a chance that she's just faster, but I don't know if that's like a... I'm not gonna lie, that might be like a gas leak type thing. She does look very fast, but also Gio always looks fast. Like, that looks fucking insanely fast. It looks like it goes insanely far, but this might also just be a gas leak moment. We might just be, like, hoping a little bit. Who fucking knows? They're okay changes. If there's now a way to combo into enhanced 2 and 4K, fuck yes. Let's go. But if there's not, this is one of the changes of all time. So, I have mixed feelings on Goldlewis being able to cancel Behemoth Typhoon into Behemoth Typhoon. Positive, he now has a reason for his security level. Pretty good. Pretty good. He's able to use it on things that aren't just enhanced specials. Downside, Behemoth Typhoon is just generally one of the strongest special moves in the game. The fact that basically every version of it guard crushes can lead to a lot of really annoying situations. It's never fun to block against a Goldlewis because you never know which Behemoth he's going to do, and even if you get it right, you could be fucked. It's just not fun. I've never had fun blocking or fighting a Goldlewis, but I will say this. This is an interesting change if one of 2 things happen. 1, you're not allowed to do this on block. If you're able to do this on block with current Behemoth Typhoon, fuck that. 2, Behemoth Typhoon in all of its forms is just weaker. If Behemoth Typhoon doesn't guard crush, or it doesn't do a lot of interesting combos without spending your resource, or it doesn't give you good knockdown, or it doesn't do good damage, or anything like that. The damage is kind of out of the question. That's a ridiculous combo for 3 special moves. But if any of these things happen, I think it'll be a much more better change. I think having Goldlewis be able to use current Behemoth Typhoon on block, cancel into another Behemoth Typhoon for 50 meter with a bar that he basically doesn't use apart from sending drone, busted, broken, just a straight buff. So hopefully they do a counterbalance to that, because I'm going to be real, Goldlewis is quite strong this season, and this would just make him near unstoppable. So apparently, Potemkin couldn't flick cubes before. This is not a buff, this is a bug fix. There's no way he couldn't flick, but what the fuck are you talking about? Okay. I think, logically, this buff makes sense. It doesn't mean that I agree with it. It makes sense. Right now, Potemkin kind of has this problem where if you know where the gaps are and you have a fast-hitting move, you can kind of just mash out of whatever he does. If he was to go into, in this situation, close slash, delay, not even delay, just Garuda or delay Potbuster, you can mash out of both of those. That's a thing that you can just do. This means now that Potbuster is much scarier because it's way harder to mash out of. You need to hit 2 fully hit moves, assuming it doesn't have super armor, in order to get out of a Potbuster. It also means that he's going to be able to go through a lot more. He's going to be able to do dumb shit like fucking Potbuster on Wake Up. I don't know if it's going to work, but he's going to be able to do it. So it's a interesting change. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it because I like mashing out against Pot, but I understand why they made this change. I don't think it's going to be as massive as some people think it is, but it is definitely going to be scary. Why? Why does it cancel projectiles now? I love you, but you are fucking broken right now. You are the bane of my existence. Why are you like this? Why? So Johnny can now use Misfire to get rid of projectiles. It's a cool change if Johnny wasn't busted. Johnny's gonna have a nicer time against zoners now. That's basically all it means. So, this change is really annoying. But there's also a couple of caveats that I want to point out. Basically, now Jacko can dash cancel her kick. However, from the looks of it, it looks like she can only do it if she hits a minion. The reason I say this is because if you look at her feet when she kicks up green smoke instead of the general yellow, like, fire that comes out. She also doesn't dash cancel there. So I imagine that you can only really do this if you're kicking a minion. Interesting change. Gonna be very annoying. Gonna give her a lot of ways to approach, which Jacko doesn't necessarily need, but Jacko players need to learn to fucking approach. So I think this is gonna be an interesting change. I'm not gonna like it, but I already don't like fighting Jacko. So. Fake 6k can now be cancelled into special moves. Because why the fuck not? I also checked this sequence. I thought that they lowered his damage. They didn't. That is just a very low damage sequence. He could have done a lot more. I hope they balance him a bit more. Dude, okay. Head popping off and going further, I feel like can be a bit of a double-edged sword. I don't know if now Bedman can control it, because if they can, this is a good change. If not, that going that far could lead to a couple of awkward situations, especially if you're very close. If it's that far, and, like, let's say this is the hitbox, right next to Bedman, that could lead to a couple of awkward situations where maybe it whiffs, maybe it doesn't hit because they're too close. Who knows? I like to think that they'd be able to control it, though. I talked to a couple of Bedman players. They don't know if this combo is doable in the current version of Strive. However, I think they show it in the trailer. Being able to combo into install. Hell yeah, why not? Go for it, Bedman. Overall, interesting buffs, but probably good ones. I think Bedman's in a pretty decent place. Weirdly, they're one of the big bodies where I don't have very strong opinions about them. I think they are just quite knowledge heavy, but they are still strong enough to, even when you know the knowledge, kind of get fucked. Oh, Jesus. So Danai now on counter hit causes a ground bounce, meaning that Aber is able to get more combos. Because she needs it, I guess. It is kind of weird that you get counter hit Danai and you get nothing off of it. But also, this character is... Ooh, she's evil right now. I wonder if this is a patch where they've just done nothing but buff. I really hope it's not. Because I think keeping the top tiers as they are and just buffing everyone else to their level is just going to lead to a more unbalanced game. Because if someone doesn't get major buffs this patch, they're going to be left in the dirt. Like what I said with Bedman. Bedman, I think, is in a pretty good place right now. But if they don't give them a lot of buffs to catch up, they're going to be left behind. They're going to get power crept. And I really don't want that to be the case. I know it's a new season. I know everyone's all the new flashy shit. But I really hope that's not the case. This change is so funny. This change is so funny. Look at his health. Ew. Funny as fuck change. I always kind of thought Nago did get punished for going into Blood Rage. But it did always kind of feel like if he had the meter, he could just skip past it and not worry about it. Now he's actually getting punished 100% of the time for going into Blood Rage. Fair enough. The popping leading into that situation is quite funny, and I think it could be used in a couple of interesting ways to, like, win rounds. But I think this is a nerf. Genuinely. I think overall, this is just a general nerf. Which is really weird, because everything else in the trailer has been shown to be buffs. And then you see this. And that looks like a massive nerf. So yeah, I don't know. I guess everyone's getting buffed but Nago. Fuck you, Nago. Enjoy bottom one, dickhead. Ugh. I think this is the most boring thing in the patch. I'm not gonna lie. Fusion. Now when you fully charge Fusion, you are able to cancel into what looks like just another Fusion. Which I think it's boring. I think it's not interesting. It kind of just... On the Angie side, it looks like it's not that engaging. You kind of just do Fusion or you do another follow-up. On the Defender side, it kind of looks like you're being bullied because you didn't throw him out of a fully charged Fusion, which in a lot of pressure sequences isn't that easy to begin with because there's a chance you get counter hit, depending on spacing and stuff. And if you're like me with Geo, you have a really bad throw range. I don't know. It just kind of feels boring. It's not interesting. It doesn't feel interesting for either player. So, it's a buff, but it's not one that I'm necessarily happy about. No! Being able to be faked into another no. And also, that looked like it went further. No faking is not something that, necessarily needed. She just kind of needed a stronger way to get her game plan going. But, okay. I mean, it's interesting. It adds a bit more layered process to dealing with no, which is not something that it's necessarily easy, but it's definitely not the hardest thing to deal with Vino. So, okay. I don't know what the change was. I still don't. Leave in the comment section what that Millia buff is, because I'm sure as fuck have no idea what it is. Bridget's now able to angle her thing up, which... okay. It's kind of interesting, because it looks like it's going to lead to worse situations for both players, where can't 6p her on rolling as easy, but now I imagine she's going to have to do more moves to make sure that she confirms into close slash. You might be able to throw her out more. It's going to be weird. It's going to be an interesting change. I already hate fighting Bridget, so I don't know. Maybe this makes the matchup more tolerable somehow, because I have more ways of getting out of Bridget's looping pressure. But if not, I guess it's an interesting option to deal with a lot of people who just 6p you when you fly in neutral, which, why are you doing that? She has such good pressure. She has such good looping pressure. Why are you just flying in? Play the neutral, please. Please. Just play neutral with Bridget. She's so good at it. She's so good at hit and run. Just please play neutral. Banger change. Banger. 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 Top tier change. Look at this shit. Yup. Banger. Banger. Up there with Chip and Ram. Genuinely. Just being able to use your follow-up immediately is sick. More combo potential as well. Fuck yeah. I love this motherfucker now. Unironically, might play Sin more because of this change, because that is fucking sick. That is so cool. I've always had a soft spot for Sin ever since he came in Strive, and like he's just been better than I expected. He was like the whole reason I do the We Need to Talk About is because I was so impressed with how they adapted Sin that I wanted to, I don't know, I felt I genuinely didn't need to talk about it, and it's launched the whole thing. So I might go back to him now. He's so cool. He's awesome. He's kind of weird in this season. He got nerfed pretty heavily with the DPRC changes because it meant that he just couldn't do half of his combos anymore. He's very neutral focused as well, despite being extremely fucking good in pressure. We might be looking at more Gecko Sin gameplay. You never know. And yeah. I hope they remove Dizzy from the game. She's broken. So yep, that's my basic rundown of how I feel about every Strive character update. Let me know how you feel about it all. I hope you enjoy this kind of format. I might be doing this a little bit more with other stuff. We'll just call this Sludge. Fuck it. Why not? We'll be going back to doing this weekly. I want to try and do more things on the second channel that's less intensive like this. So maybe drop a subscribe, leave a comment on how you feel about the changes, what you think of my opinions, and how you definitely beat me now. The fact that Baikon's still fucking dog shit for no reason. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Peace, guys.